Other yellow hat guy here, back with another video. Take two of this video. That said, a couple more things we want to address. New responsibilities at work. We've got a new setup somewhat. And then just other life things going on. So the videos have been late. All that out of the way, what did we see? Ant-Man and the Wasp. Quantumania. Yeah, that's a mouthful. So while that's a lot to say, I've got a lot to say about this one, but I'm going to try to condense it. So this will be spoilery because while this was a polarizing movie, you've got to understand where they were going to kind of understand the rating I'm going to give it, okay? Some of y'all have been bashing the movie online, and by some of y'all I mean some of the other critics. It's fun in this day and age in the internet to just pile on something, you know what I mean? You have a record come out, there's a music critic that says it's trash, so that jades your perception when you finally hear it. You're already going into it with negative connotations instead of like, oh, I heard it was good. I'd rather you tell me it was good, I hear it, and be like, well, what did you hear? And be disappointed and be like, hey, just not for me. Than for you to tell me something's bad, and then I see it, I listen to it, and I'm like, no, I actually thought it was okay. Bad should be, I don't know, I think bad should be clear for everyone, where something good should be subjective. Like, the difference between good and great should not be good and great. You should be like, all right, I can see that, but not for me. But if it's bad, that should be kind of, I feel like that should be universal, right? Something should be universally bad. You can see where people are like, yeah, it's bad, but I enjoy it, right? That's not this movie. Okay, so what is this? This is a follow-up from the Loki Disney Plus series. So if you've watched that, you know what's going on. You know who the big villain is. This is the setup for who we're going to see for the next 4 to 5 years in the MCU. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has a villain called Kang the Conqueror. Kang, who travels back and forth through time with futuristic technology, a descendant of Reed Richards, one who exists in different multiverses, or exists in a multiverse, different universes, that is aware of himself in other universes, right? So this is played by Jonathan Majors, who did a great job. As a matter of fact, he carried this movie. So what I loved about it was his acting. He was able to just show a nihilistic, a more existential form to this villain. It wasn't just, I want to win to rule the day. There was just much more to his character than that. I can't really say a whole lot without telling the whole movie about his backstory, but just know he feels like he's in the right in what he's trying to do, that he has the solution, and what have you. And it's the rest of the Kangs. You find out there's a council of Kangs that betrayed him. Now, there's also a council of Reeds, right? But they haven't developed the Fantastic Four yet to justify having those guys on screen, right? It would come out of left field. If you saw Doctor Strange, then you'd be like, okay, didn't they kind of do one thing and not another? But, you know, we'll get to that when we get to it, right? Kang, you find out, has been stranded in the quantum realm, or as they call it, the quantum verse, or whatever they're calling it, but the quantum realm. So what is the quantum realm? It's pretty much a world with subatomic, beings, smaller than, ants would be perfect, so it made sense. It's just pretty much like a microverse is really what it is, right? And the Fantastic Four, who have explored this realm, are, again, like I said, not developed, so they kind of said, let's just do Ant-Man and use that as the setup. So Paul Rudd going against, very serious character, would it mesh well? I think that's the main thing people had with this movie. It does not take itself seriously. On the surface, it's a family-friendly movie. It's about, learning about your family and, the good and bad, still accepting them and trying to do the right thing even though it may not involve you, right? on the other hand, these secrets come out about what Janet was doing while she was in the quantum realm. Turns out she betrayed the people that were there trying to escape, and she was actually helping Kang before she knew who he really was. There was a part that they worked on for so long, right? This apparatus they created to kind of get his ship back to where he needed to go. You would think with the futuristic technology, he would already have done that on his own, because you can see when they get into the quantum realm, he's been in there so long, he's able to develop things far beyond what he needed to, but didn't have anybody there that he found along the way that can do what Janet did. It was just very suspect, very weird. But, you go along with it, right? This was pretty much Marvel's Star Wars. You had all these characters who formed like a rebellion against Kang. And you've got Cassie, who eventually will be known as Stature. She's Scott Lang's daughter. They had the whole blip and him being in jail and just different things that kept him from really being in her life. But it was also a nice way for Marvel to just recast the original actress and have a more adult, grown-up actress take that role, because we all know, who read the comics anyway, that they're building towards young Avengers, right? We've seen Ironheart, we've seen the twins in WandaVision, and now we've got Cassie here. So most of the team's pretty much there. So I'll leave it with, you have that simple story of getting involved and helping people because you can, not because you want to, right? If you can help, you should, even if you don't really want to, because you're making a difference. And it could be you on the other side of the foot, is what the family message here was for the movie. But Majors carried it, so to say it was a bad movie, it's like, have y'all seen Eternals? Right? Universally panned. And I don't want to even think of an Eternals 2 happening, but hey, anything is possible, right? That was a movie that should have been straight for TV. It shouldn't have been made, but this isn't about that. It's just, how could you look at that and say it's awful, give it a rotten rating when some of y'all haven't even really watched it yet. So I say that to say, while Majors carried the movie, everyone still gelled well around him. They understood what the threat was here. They understood that if they didn't stop him, there were going to be consequences. But it's like, how do you believe somebody like that? No one was aware of a Council of Kangs or what Loki had done to He Who Remains, right? So you'll have to, I say that to say you'll have to stay tuned. There's 2 end credit scenes. If you already don't realize, Marvel does these end credit scenes. They were the masters at that. I'm not saying they were the first, but that's part of how people keep going to see these movies. They give you a little bit more, right? And so this was a setup for, bigger movies. They've already told you more Avengers movies are coming, and best believe that Kang will be involved in those. So all in all, I'm going to give this 7 out of 10. And I'll say that's 3 out of 5 Earthworm Jims. Yes, I might have given it similar to Venom, and I might have given it the same as Black Panther, although I might have given Black Panther 2 a 6 out of 10. I liked it better than that. I liked it better than Thor, Love and Thunder, that's for sure. So to say it's the worst, I disagree with that. I think maybe you guys were expecting more from it, but Ant-Man at its core was lighthearted and funny, and that's what you got here. I think the jokes, they landed for me, if anything. You had MODOK show up, and I think that might have turned some people off. They wanted a more menacing MODOK. Instead, they made him kind of a joke. But I didn't have a problem with that, because, again, I would take that MODOK versus the movie, or the Hulu MODOK. So I think everybody wants things to be perfect, and it just can't. Marvel doesn't have the movie rights to all the characters, even though they have them for most of them, I would say now, right? You've got that whole Spider-Man verse thing. You've got some villains appearing in different movies where they don't fall in line with their comic book counterparts, right? We don't have Iron Man, but Ironheart has shown up. You know, little things like that that they're trying to work with what they have to introduce who they can, when they can, however they can. So I enjoyed the movie. Let me know your thoughts. Did you enjoy it? Go see it. I'm not sure when it'll be on Disney Plus, but obviously it'll be before they try to show any of the Loki or anything like follow-ups like that. So, and you'll see what I mean when you see this movie. So, like, comment, subscribe, share. I'd be remiss in telling you guys not to do that. If you could, just hit that sub button up there. And I will see you in the next one. The Yellow Hat Guy is out.